Hey YouTube, it's Melissa Hurt of Integrative Studio, here with another video to help you become clear, productive, and influential. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what it means to be clear. How do you get clear? What does that mean? So I hope that you like this video. I've made it for my podcast, The Genuine Creative. Be sure to tune into that if you want to listen to this while you drive. And be sure to leave a comment below on what you do to get clear. I want to know. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it so that you can be first in line to get all my content when it becomes available to be clear, productive, and influential. Hello, podcast listeners. I'm so glad you're here with me. And today I'm going to talk about what it means to get clear. Now, for my YouTube channel and on my website, if you go to melissahurt.com, you see my tag is be clear, productive, and influential. But what does it mean to be clear? How do you get clear? So that's what we're diving into. For me, clarity is what you feel in your heart, your mind, your voice, and your energy. Now let's break these down into each of these parts of you that of course make up your whole. For me, mental clarity comes by sitting with yourself and sitting with your thoughts. It's really important to know that you are not your thoughts. Sometimes we feel crazy. We feel like our thoughts are going all over the place and we feel like we have monkeys shaking the cage. And if you are a person who has a lot of anxiety or anxiety comes to you, or maybe you have depression or self-doubt, any of these mental states that can feel debilitating, please know that there is a self deeper within you that's just experiencing that. Now, that's not to say that we don't need mental health services to help us to get clear, to move beyond those obstacles of anxiety, depression, self-doubt. Please seek out those resources if you need them. But for me, mental clarity is something I work on every day. I have a meditation practice that I sit with every morning, and it can only be, as little as 15 minutes. But for me, that's all I need to be able to dive inwardly and see what's happening in my mind. So I'm sitting with my thoughts in my meditation practice, and I like to anchor my thoughts with a mantra. So a mantra is a short phrase, or maybe it's one word that I breathe with and I repeat to myself, sometimes out loud, sometimes it's just inwardly repeating it. But what it does is it anchors me. So all these other thoughts are happening as I am anchored with my mantra, as I am anchored with the feeling of my breath. But all the other thoughts are happening about what am I going to do today? What errands do I need to do? What are things that I did yesterday that I need to finish? All that stuff. And I don't get swept away by all the other stuff. I anchor with the mantra and my breath. But what I notice is because I have a distance with those other thoughts, is there might be a pattern. Maybe I notice that there are repetitions of doubt or criticism or fear or whatever it is. And I sit and I observe that. And I just notice, what is my experience right now? Because really the purpose of meditation is to learn how to live more fully. If we're always shoving our thoughts away and negating them, or on the other side of that, we feel like we are our thoughts and that our thoughts are creating our experience, we're not living in the present moment. And so mental clarity for me in my meditation practice is when I notice the patterns, I sift through these clouds of dust, just all the other busy stuff, the monkeys that come up, rattling the cage, every morning about what I need to do or what I didn't finish. And I decipher between what's important to me and what's not important to me. My mantra is very important to me, and so I tend to it. And sometimes because I've anchored in with my mantra, I get deeper clarity on what it means to me. And I'm not going to share what my mantra is because it's personal, but having that special phrase that represents my highest good and my best life helps me realize, what am I doing today that is not serving me as I work towards that highest good or my best life? What am I doing today that I'm actually not tending to enough, that I need to put more energy into? That comes up for me. So mental clarity is where I get real with myself and I determine what is important and what is not. I cut through the nonsense and I take action on what's not serving me to eliminate it, whether it's working my way out of a relationship that's not working, whether it's professional, social, what have you, whether it's completing a task that's been hanging over my head just so I can get her done and move on, or whether it's, prioritizing a creative activity or something that I do for my health, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual health, elevating more of that. But whatever comes up for me in my meditation practice, I know is in alignment with my highest good, so I tend to it. So mental clarity for me means that I have deciphered between what's important to me and what's not. Now let's talk about clarity in heart. What does it mean to be clear in your heart? Now the heart is obviously an organ. We know it's a 4-chambered organ that circulates our blood. We get that. But the heart also has an energy. We have an energetic heart. This is why we feel heartbreak. This is why we feel excitement in our heart when something really great's happening. Clarity in your heart for me means that you are getting real with what's important to you, deep within, what truly matters in your life. And to know what that is, it's very important to know what your values are. Now, values are like an inner compass. They direct you towards the people, the opportunities, and the activities that are in alignment with your highest good. And anything that is not in alignment with your values, for me, tends to cause anxiety or discord or resentment or anger or something like that. It's not a good feeling. So being clear in my values means that I know what my path is and how to stay on my path to my best life. I will not be led astray. Now, sometimes, of course, an opportunity comes up and we think, oh yeah, maybe I should do that. And we do it and we realize this does not feel right. I only know it doesn't feel right because I have done the work to become clear in my heart and my mind, that I can recognize that agitation inside of myself. So when you know what your values are, you know what's important to you. They're like this inner compass that steer you and direct you to where you need to put your time, where you need to put your love, and where you need to put your energy. And so for me, I value, for example, movement. Now, yes, that means moving my body, but it also means movement in my life. I don't ever want to become stagnant. And so I'm always seeking opportunities to grow and learn something new, meet new people, and just have movement in my life. The person I am today will not be the person you meet 5 years from now, because I will have evolved and grown and moved to this amazing place that I can't wait to get to while enjoying the ride along the way. And so knowing what my values are help me to stay clear in my heart for what's important and what really matters. And if something doesn't matter, if it's something that is just weighing me down or annoying, I don't put a lot of energy into it, or I really try not to. Sometimes we have to take care of those annoying emails or whatever. Just get it done. You don't attach a lot of emotion to it. You just get it done and move on. And I think it was either Cher or Pink. I can't remember which artist it was, but I recently heard one of them say, a quote from them saying, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, it doesn't matter right now. And that's another way of stating that heart clarity. If your heart's not in it and it won't be in it in 5 years, it doesn't deserve your time, energy, and focus now. So that's kind of a cool way to frame it. Now, if you are a person who feels anxiety in your life, you might be out of alignment with what is truly important to you. So I invite you to check in with your heart. I mean, you can literally put your hand over your heart. That physical touch will help to create oxytocin, the love hormone for yourself, which is really important, and it's a real thing. And just check in with your heart. I like to imagine I'm on a diving board and I'm literally diving in from my skull inside of myself to my heart. And I say, what's important here? What's important here? And I just have the space and the time and the quiet to see whatever comes up. Now, sometimes the answer might be peace. And if I'm feeling a lot of chaos in my life, then I have to seek peace. How do I seek peace? Does it mean ending a relationship? Does it mean putting my foot down? What does that mean? What are the actions I take to honor what my heart needs? Everything is action oriented with me. Manifestation comes through action, not just thinking good things, but you have to do something. You have to be it. And so mental clarity, heart clarity are how we know what we physically need to do in our lives. Now, clarity in the voice. Now, many of you know that I am a certified voice and speech trainer, and I have been for maybe 12 years now. And it's work that completely changed my life. Now, I've talked about this before in other places, and I'll definitely be talking about it more on this podcast on how this voice work changed my life. But just to let you know that I really was a wallflower girl when I was growing up. I was just very quiet. I was a sweet girl. I was nice to everybody. I was an activist for animal rights and gay rights and AIDS awareness in the 90s. And I wasn't a complete doorstep or anything like that. But deep inside myself, I always felt like I was on the outside. And what that did for me vocally was it made my voice retreat to the back of my throat because I was like a little mouse hiding in a hole. And so my voice did the same thing. And when I started to learn voice and speech work in an embodied way, I began to develop the strength of my voice without straining my voice. I began to feel my consonants. And let me tell you something. When you are articulate, obviously you're clear in your speech because people can understand what you're saying. But when you are articulate, you're intentional. And when you are intentional when you speak, then you know you have shown up in the room. It's a game changer. And when I feel my voice as I speak, I am very clear in what I need to say. My voice, with a capital V, the energetic voice, the way I show up in the world is unmistakable. And so vocal clarity for me means you are free from tension, emotional and physical tension, when you speak your truth, when you communicate your needs, when you express your values. Defined vocal clarity means that you are open physically and energetically to your breath, to an open throat. You're not clenching your jaw. You're not holding your breath when you speak because you're so pissed off about something. You just can't deal with it. So you're retreating from the experience and imagining, if I hold my breath, I'm not going to be here. Well, guess what? You are there. So breathe with it, breathe through it, and move through it to get to the other side of that experience. So a way that I like to help people explore what it means to be clear in your voice is to just speak in a very casual, conversational way and notice what you feel. So let's take a breath in like we smell something we really enjoy, chocolate chip cookies, for example, coffee, whatever it is, and just sigh it out. and you can feel that release of tension in your throat. And then take that breath in like you smell something you love, and say your name while feeling every sound in it. So I might say, my name is Melissa Hurt. And when I say that, I'm feeling the M in my name. I felt the N and the M in name is. I'm feeling that S that feels like a Z in my mouth. Melissa Hurt. Melissa Hurt. I feel the L. I feel the S. I feel it move through that vowel-like consonant, the R, to that T, that very intentional T and T, Hurt. My name is Melissa Hurt. If I can feel all of those sounds and vibrations and sensations, I know that I'm breathing. I know that I have given my voice the space, physically, literally, to move beyond my throat into my mouth, my oral cavity, for those vibrations to happen. And if I can feel every sound in that phrase, I know that I'm aware and I'm present. So I'm clear in my mind, clear in my heart. You see how these all work together? So then after you've said your name, I want you to say what you do. So I'm going to say, I am a podcast host for a show called The Genuine Creative. And I have felt every sound in that phrase. I am intentional. When I say it, I don't get a swipe of imposter syndrome, like, really? Am I a podcast host? Yes, I'm a podcast host for the show, The Genuine Creative. I know that that's real. Why would I feel any kind of imposter syndrome with that? It's happening. And then you say what you want. And this is where it gets real with you. When you are clear in your voice, clear in your heart, clear in your mind, for you to say what you want can be really, really amazing. And so I can say, I want to feel impactful in the lives of others. And by saying that, I want to feel impactful in the lives of others. That grounds why I do this podcast, why I have a YouTube channel, why I have a website with tons of blog articles and free resources, why I offered low-cost online courses for people to study at home because maybe they can't afford one-on-one training. It's why I do everything I do, because I believe in accessibility for everybody to have access to the practices that help them to show up in their lives so they can be clear, productive, and influential. So as you say these things, as you say your name, as you say what you do, as you say what you want, does your throat tighten up anywhere? And if it does, you've got to get to the heart of why that tension happens. Again, circle back to being clear in your heart and then being clear in your mind. These are layers that work together. All right, now, being clear in your energy. We are all rays and balls of energy, my friends. It's the universe is energy. Everything is energy. So how are you spending your energy? It is true that what you think about is what is your life. The thing you tend to the most in your thoughts is what you are of service to. It's what your life is. So for example, if I'm constantly thinking about financial scarcity, then guess what? I'm going to feel broke and poor and that I can't afford anything, that I can't do anything. It's just going to circle, and end up creating my experience. Now, I might actually have a low number in my bank account for a moment of time, but I can open that up in my mind and say, I have this amount of money in my bank account, but I have friends, I have food, I have love, I have a roof over my head. I actually have abundance, and I'm working toward more financial gain so I can get better or different opportunities. It's all about how you shift it, right? How you shift your thoughts is how you shift your energy. And so when you are clear in your energy, you are clear and how you are and who you are and how you're showing up. You are clear on your path of what is your highest good. What's your best self? Not just on your best day today, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like, what's the mark you are leaving on this precious earth? And that's what I mean by be influential. How are you having influence? And it doesn't have to mean you're a public figure. You could have influence over your child in the most positive way. You could have influence over your neighbor. You could have, I have friends who have chosen to not have kids, and they are the most amazing, heartfelt people of stray dogs. They take care of animals in the way that is so beautiful to me. They are having a positive influence in this world because they are changing the lives of these dogs. And it's so great. And I love them for it. And so how you are influential is very personal to you, but the energy that you put toward that is everything. It's how you think, it's how you move, it's even how you take care of yourself so that you can be of service to that thing that you're bringing your energy into. And once you know what you need to put your energy into, when you're clear on that, you have got to cannonball into that pool and just do it. I mean, just do it. And if you have any fear or trepidation on taking those steps, I promise you, do the scary thing first so that you can prove to yourself your strength, your skill, your talents, and your intelligence. Become confident in who you are and how you show up, and that will open doors to other opportunities. Please just dive in, get it done, and see what it feels like to be fully you, and even give yourself permission to surprise yourself about how you can show up and how great you can be. Now, with all of this, so we have clarity in your mind, clarity in your heart, clarity in your voice, and clarity in your energy. If you can find clarity in all of these, you are clear as day. There is no nonsense clouding you in your inner life and in how you relate to other people. It's my personal goal that I am upfront with everybody because we don't know when our time's up. And I don't ever want a person to second guess how I feel about them, our relationship, the work we do together. And so I am very open of telling people that I love them. I'm open in sharing gratitude for other people. I'm open in giving thanks for work well done. And for me, that also helps to clarify my heart because I don't want to hold anything in. I want to share it. And so if any of these resonate with you, please let me know. Send me an email. Go to my website, melissahurt.com, and go to the contact me and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you're interested in voice and speech clarity, I do have 2 online courses that have helped a lot of people. They're called Embodied Voice. One of them is Get Clear, which is focusing on consonant energy articulation. And the other one is Feel Dynamic, which is on strengthening your voice, your vocal tone, and coming into the softer, more dilute vowels. So you are feeling a range of expressive possibilities. So check those out. Well, that is my show, my friends. This is all about what it means to be clear. And I hope that these practices are helpful for you and they give you some new ideas on how to tap into your best self so that you can be clear, productive, and influential and create something beautiful in your life. Thanks so much.